Good evening to all of you. I'm Indrajit. I'm here to introduce the chief guest for the today's Sitara seminar, Dhruv Gupta. Dhruv Gupta is core group member of the Indian Stammering Association, that is a TISA, participate and facilitate the TISA Mumbai self-help group. He also participates and facilitates the Stammering self-help conference and the workshop in India and the US. He has also been a group member for the International Stuttering Association. He is corporate finance graduate. His organizational experience span the sustainability and the hospitality in China, India, and the US. He's passionate about the real sustainability becoming the mainstream culture to mitigate the climate crisis. So welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Want me to tell you when you keep track of time? I can keep track of time.
So basically at 6:10 or so.
Flexible, but
Huh.
about 40. Then you have got certain questions.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So
Take it longer if you put.
no. So we'll like finish them like at 6:45 or so. At 7. It's till 7. Okay. So fair, TK.
Continue informally after.
Okay. Well, I mean, people will get hungry, I think, and I want to go.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So thank you so much, Dr. Pankaj, for like inviting us here, yeah, to your campus. So yeah, my name is Dhruv, and I stammer. So you kind of will like hear me repeat sounds and also get stuck on some sounds. I'm perfectly fine. We just stammer, and I'll share some more about what stammering is as we go along. And also, I've like got my notes on my phone, so I'll be like looking at my phone as well, not checking anything, and also to like respect like everyone in the room. If you could kind of like keep your phones on silent or all that stuff as well. Okay. Okay. So shall we begin?
Yeah.
Okay. So as we begin, let's like take a moment to fully arrive. Yeah. So if you like, you can close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And just fully arrive in the space. And now think of a time when you felt different. Like you were separate from everyone else. And can you identify what it is that made you feel different? So in one word or in one or two words, could you describe that? Um, like maybe it was weight, overweight, underweight. Maybe it was sports, some skill at sports, or language. Maybe everybody was speaking speaking English and then Hindi or something like that. So yeah, any and by the way, this is yeah, you can say. Okay.
My name is Harsh Kumar Gupta, and I'm also part of TISA. My name is Harsh, and I'm also a part of the TISA organization. volunteer. So yes, and I'm here to assist in an activity of crew. So yes, thank you.
Co.
Are you okay holding a hand mic?
Yeah, sure.
Because that's slightly better in terms of sound.
Sure, maybe like
So that won't help because it is
if so
too close to the.
I'm like
so
fine.
you're like louder when you're near her. So it's
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, so sure, sure.
Oh,
so that
no, no, hand mic is fine.
So
for him and that's
Yeah.
it.
No, that's okay.
hello. Good. So if you can kind of like describe in one word perhaps what is it that made you feel different, and Harsh will just write that on the board like the word you're saying. Yeah.
Being independent.
Being independent. Okay. So yeah. So maybe independence or yeah, being independent. Being independent. Anybody else? Okay. So maybe like financial insecurity. So yeah, financial insecurity. Language, language. Yeah, language. Yeah, the, the stammering. So stammering, and also financial insecurity. Yeah, Ner- uh, nerve, 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 nervousness, nervousness. So nervousness. Sorry, adaptation. As oh, okay, so speaking adaptation. Okay, so we tried speaking on the board. Is that fine? Okay. So speaking, and also the fi- finan fi uh, fi- fin financial insecurity, or we can say that in many different ways. But yeah, introvert nature. Okay, so introvert, introvert. Hmm. Any more? Any other? Yeah. Wait. Okay. So wait. Wait. Hmm. How about sports as well? Yeah, sports. Some people are nodding with sports. So let's say like sports, or yeah, sports skills. Huh. So body type. Yeah. Well, yeah, body type. Hmm. Yeah. Expressing thoughts. So expressing thoughts. Yeah. Regret. Regret. Sure. That can be a difference in yeah, regret. Yeah. Huh. Right. Like so should we say like ignorant maybe? Or lack of knowledge. Okay. Unaware. Okay. Unaware. Thanks for correcting it. Good. Take a few more. Anybody? Okay. Hobbies. Sure. You have different hobbies, so you feel different. That makes sense. Interests could also be that. Yeah. We can also add interests as well. Huh. Yeah. Okay. Good. Same. Being single. Sure. No, it's true. It's true. Yeah. Being single as well can be a difference. Yeah. So we can have lots of online. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm. Right. From? Oh, that's me. Maybe they're like it's like so someone else on Zoom named Dhruv. So okay, which is kind of cool. And they also stammer. I have to meet this person. They should contact me afterwards. So it's like it's like basically so stammering and speaking essentially. Wait, huh? Jo already had board there. Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean that's a good list I think so far. We can have lots of things like even clothes sometimes. Dancing. Sometimes you may be like scared of dancing in front of whatever. Yeah. So anyway, um, lots of kind of things. But yeah.
Sorry for my handwriting. The there is first one is being independent, language, stammering, nervousness, speaking, financial instability, introvert, weight, sports, body type, expressing thoughts, unaware, hobbies, and being single. And I think I miss uh, one thing. Sorry,
What did he miss?
I think I miss one thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Regret. Regret. Okay. Cool. Oh, sorry. For Zoom, right? Okay. I'm like we're trying not to kind of shout at you. That's why I'm. Okay. Okay. Great. Anything else? Going once? Going twice? Ah, okay. Left-handed. Yeah, for sure. Different types of. Good. So let's move on. Huh. Orphan. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So orphan and family background, culture, caste. There could be so many things, religion, to feel different. Good. Okay. So that was on difference. So different is the slide, which we like just kind of did the activity. Now, what happens? Sorry. What happens when you, huh? Take it. Thank you. Thank you, Harsh. Should we give Harsh a round of applause? So what happens when you try and hide the difference? Yeah, what happens when you try and hide the difference from others? Huh? Yeah. Did you say something? Yeah. Fear grows. Right. Fear grows. Like what will people think? लोग क्या क्या like 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 क्या सोचेंगे? What will they think? Right, right. Exactly. Fear will grow. Um, a- anything else? So fear is growing. Yes. Right. You're trying to now conform and be like everybody else, right? You feel lonely as well when you're hiding. So you're yeah, hiding like physically maybe elsewhere or mentally. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yes. You try and fake like being like everyone else. Try and fake it. Yeah. And then yeah, so fear grows, you're kind of like really feeling alone, trying to fake it. And then you kind of maybe so if you're alone and all of that is happening, then maybe you kind of I feel some shame as well that I'm different. I'm yeah, everyone else. So for me, for example, just it's like two kind of examples for me. So I would like I wear glasses, and basically when I was like 7 years old, I got glasses for the first time, like a negative 0.5 or one prescription. I did not want to wear glasses, so I said no, I'm not going to wear. And then like लोग क्या सोचेंगे? And my like pres- uh, prescription increased, of course, right? And with stammering as well for me, I've had my whole life to kind of like hide stammering, and like that's kind of increased the fear, increased the shame, loneliness. Yeah. So okay, so well, like one option is hiding. One other option could be to change the difference. So what happens when you try and change the difference? Like you change how you say these things, your sports skills and your weight and your body type and your hobbies and your interests, or your language. Um, at times you can, right? At times it's possible to change. And at times it's not possible, right, to always change. It's exhausting to fit to like fit fit in constantly, and change yourself. Um, yeah. So then the next option would be, so there's hiding it, there's then changing it, and oh sorry, and then there's showing, opposite of hiding or accepting. Now, what happens when you accept or show your difference? You you feel relieved. Yeah. Sorry. Un- Unconditional life acceptance. Yeah.
I am what I am. I cannot change things, but I can maybe accept it. I can maybe live a normal life with this.
Right. Right. Exactly. So it's yeah, sure. So it's like unconditional life acceptance. Like basically I can kind of fully accept it, and mm, I I I can live a normal life. Yeah, with the difference. So, right? Was that okay? Yeah. Yes.
Prior to solidarity, so
So solidarity in your identity, right? Exactly. Yeah. So I, I can make it less scary, right? So it's liberating. It feels like great to be yourself, but at the same time to show your difference and can be scary as well, right? So what can we do to kind of make it less scary? Find other people who kind of share the same interest, they share the same hobby, the same difference, right? Like in TISA, the Indian Stammering Association, we have other people who stammer as well with us. And one other thing to think about is there's so many on the board here, right? From all over the room. So everybody feels different sometimes throughout their lives. So if everybody feels different, maybe it's normal to feel different or be different. Who's seen Sitare Zameen Par? Only a few people. You're like too busy with your studies, I think. So there's this line in that called "Sabka apna apna normal." Sabka apna apna normal hai. So what's normal for me, like what's kind of normal for your interest is normal for you, and I may have a different interest, and that's okay. So yeah, so if we all feel different at some times, then maybe it's normal to feel different, and that can also help us accept our differences, right? So now to kind of like talk about TISA. Okay, so in TISA, the Indian Stammering Association, that I'm kind of representing now, we say that our difference, which is stammering, is basically like a portal, a portal. Like like anime, like you jump from one like world to the next. Naruto, if you guys have seen. Yeah, so basically so stammering is like a portal to acknowledge our own fears, understand and accept ourselves. And in doing so, we can then also accept each other. And also recognizing that we have so much more in common than actually we have in difference. Yes, we have differences, For example, yes, I stammer, but with each of you, I have a lot more in common with you than what I have different than you, than my stammering, right? So anyway, that's our philosophy at TISA. It's about oneness. You can call it wholeness. Um, and if I may take an even step further, by recognizing that we are all actually one, we're all in this together. You like that in some ways is a path to contentment. That yes, I have different interests. Yes, I have different hobbies. I have a different sport that I like. I'm nervous. I stammer. I have financial insecurity. I have all of these things. I'm an introvert, but there's so many other people who are like me. So I'm like not alone in this. And I share so much as well with other people as well, just being here. Anyway, so I don't want to get too much into that, but yeah, they kind of like felt like a speech, and I'm kind of trying to make this interactive, so you're all engaged. But TISA basically, oh, it's a, the
Can one of us run it for you to get us to
sure, yeah, you got it. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, that actually helps because now I'm like free. I think it's yeah. Next, and just one more. Yeah, done. Okay. So TISA, the Indian Stammering Association, is an association of people who stammer like myself in India. We have self-help groups all over the country in different cities. We have one in Mumbai, and yeah, yeah. Actually, could the people from the Mumbai self-help group raise your hands? So we're the three of us here. More are actually on the way, but they got stuck in traffic and stuff, and more are on Zoom, I think. We're nonprofit. We have conferences and workshops. Next. We are the 1%. So basically, all over the world, sorry, I'm blocking the, all over the world, basically, 1% of people stammer. At IIT Bombay, what's your campus size? Like, how many? 23,000. Okay, so there's like probably like 230 people who stammer, 1%, right? That's a lot of people. And probably some people in this room as well who stammer and who are students here. Um, what this happened like, and this for me has been great because now wherever I go, any city that I go to, I have friends. So it's kind of fun. Okay. Any guesses? How many, like the ratio? How many men to women stammer? A wild guess. And if you know that, like, yeah, just yeah, you can avoid saying right now. People who don't know, like, is it 1 to 1 for every one man who stammers, one woman? Is it 2 to 1? Is it 500 to 1? Everyone's worried about saying the wrong answer. Huh? 500 to 1. So 500 men stammer to one woman who stammers? Okay. So actually one woman who like so stammers is coming. And in some ways it's the same ratio here in some ways. So it's 4 men who stammer for every one woman who stammers. In every country, every region, every religion, everywhere. 4 men to one woman. And and what can we kind of like tell by that? But basically, it is um. So okay. Let me ask a question. What causes stammering now? If you know that there's kind of like a biological basis. So everywhere you go, there's 4 men to one woman who stammers. Do you think it's an environmental causes or you think it's biological causes? Yeah. Okay. But biological or like genetic, which is what the like research has found as well. There's basically like some recessive genes. So like they can skip generations, right? So grandfather can have, grandson can have kind of thing. Yeah, that cause stammering. Now, and yeah, I mean, you can kind of like look at it more as well on Google and also ask AI, and you get lots of information. But now that's the cause, right? What's the bigger issue, which we in some ways kind of saw as well over here with the differences, is the reaction. to the stammering or the reaction to the difference. Um, who, who has like heard that parable with the two arrows? The two arrows. Have you heard that? Anybody? No. So okay. So basically, like the first arrow is the actual pain you feel. For example, if right now I'm feeling very hungry, that's the first arrow. So actually, this is like a yeah some Buddhist or some saying, but anyway. And the second arrow is my reaction to that arrow, which is then like the self-inflicted pain. If I'm feeling hungry, first arrow. Second arrow is like, oh my God, I have to go get food. I'm freaking out now. I'm like dying on the floor because I'm so hungry. That's our reaction. Who has done Vipassana here? Like 10-day meditation course? Goenkaji's or any type of meditation? Okay, you have, sir. Okay. So all of you have to take a break from your classes and do a 10-day Vipassana course. But basically, so in most kinds of meditation, what you're doing is kind of observing your sensations, observing what's arising, and then in some ways not reacting as you normally would. Just observing. So anyway, yeah. So yes, biological basis, but also the reaction is what's the bigger issue. Like we can see here with the differences, it's our reaction to it. Um, and then as children, it's not so much of a big deal, right? Like as children, these differences weren't so prominent. Is that right? Like as like a young child, not like a child who's now aware 7 or 8, but like a child who's maybe 3, 4 years old, right? But then in some ways, like their weight doesn't matter to them. Their sports skills don't matter to them. The language, yes, of course, maybe you can't communicate, but you're still like, I want to play, you want to play, let's just go play in the sand. Or yeah, being single doesn't really matter when you're a child and all these things, right? So, and in some ways, as we grow up, we begin to internalize society's views, right? Like लोग कहते हैं कि मुझे ऐसे करना है या वैसे करना है या ये बनना है या वो बनना है, like we've seen and maybe we've all experienced. So yeah, so as we grow up, we kind of like yeah begin to kind of internalize समाज का क्या कहता है क्या कहेगा. Next slide. Okay, so now talking about society, we can talk about what is disability and what does it mean to be disabled. Yeah, any ideas? Disabled, so not able to do something. That's kind of what it means, right? Okay, right? That's kind of what it kind of in involuntary, huh? Right, right. Right. So if something is happening that's involuntarily, I'm not choosing for it to happen, but it's happening anyway. That's what she's saying. It's kind of like it kind of disables you in a way. But in some ways, I think what the yeah. So sure. I think that for sure can cause you to feel like you're not able to do something because you're like, for example, with stammering, you're kind of involuntarily doing it, right? Um. Okay. So if there's like a say language, if someone said language, um like say it's Hindi, like for example I can take my example. तो मैं हिंदी बोल सकता हूँ, लेकिन मैं काफी सेल्फ कॉन्शियस हूँ जब मैं हिंदी बोलता हूँ क्योंकि मेरा एक्सेंट है. या मैं इतना इतना फ्लुएंट नहीं हूँ लेकिन लेकिन बोल सकता हूँ. सो आई एम एबल टू स्पीक बट आई एम सोशली वर्ried कि लोग क्या 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 कहेंगे. तो मैं सेल्फ सेंसर करता हूँ. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर हम दोस्त हैं जो हम सब बात कर रहे हैं हिंदी में, लाइक लोग लाइक हिंदी में बात कर रहे हैं, फास्ट बात कर रहे हैं, मैं काफी नर्वस हूँ to enter the conversation or say something because how am I going to say it, right? So in some ways, I disable myself. Does that make sense? Yeah, if there's like a sport that you want to play and you know you can learn the skill, it takes a long time though. You know, so in some ways, disabling, what I'm kind of saying here is like hiding it. Like you're saying, I'm not going to show that side of me. So in some ways, you're kind of disabling yourself. Okay, but now to move that along, if there's social acceptance, so for example, if in that group of my friends who are all speaking in Hindi, and then I begin talking in Hindi, and they accept me. They're like, okay, ठीक है, he's like speaking with this accent, कोई बात नहीं, कुछ बोल रहा है, हम सुनेंगे. Yeah, I'm stammering, and they're still listening. Yeah, you go somewhere and you're, like for example, expressing your thoughts, and people are patiently listening to you. So then, if there's social acceptance, could that remove that disability? Because you are then like participating in that activity. You're speaking now with that group of friends. You are expressing your thoughts. You're playing that sport, for example. Like for example, if अगर लोग कहते हैं कि कोई बात नहीं, like like तुमको bowling नहीं आती है, कोई बात नहीं, आप आ जाओ हमारे टीम पे. But with acceptance, then you can also play and join the sport, right? So in some ways, yeah. So if there's social acceptance, then you can have like we can kind of stop self-censoring, or we can like not disable ourselves anymore. Okay, next slide. Because this is a talk at IIT, I've got to get a little technical, and I'm going to give you some definitions now of stuff, just for because we have to do these things. So basically, like in the flyer, it like mentioned this thing called the social model of disability. Who like read that in the flyer? If you like remember social model of disability. Okay. Anyway, so there's two models. There's the medical model, social model. So basically these two words will help us understand that on the next slide. Impairment, like it says here, some anomaly in biological structure or function. I I like now like to feel like an IIT professor. I'm reading definition. Disability, functional limitations related to the impairment. Basically, so the impairment is something that is something physically. There's something physically uh, um, like like abnormal. You can say there's an anomaly, right? And disability is the limitations because of the impairment, because of that physical disability, the physical difference, physical anomaly. Does that make sense? Peak. Yeah. Okay. Of course. Okay. Next slide. Okay. Yeah. So medical social model. Next slide. All right. So the medical model or physical model, I think, like, at least for me, how I kind of see it, the words medical and physical are kind of interchangeable here. So the medical or physical model means that the impairment and disability are located within the body, right? So physical model. And then by reducing the impairment, we reduce the disability. So for example, if I'm, yeah, so, okay, for most of my life, I've gone to speech therapists. I've tried to make me fluent. Even though we understand now, like stammering has a biological basis, someone who stammers as an adult will very very likely continue to stammer as an adult. So it's like, how can you make that, so force someone to be something they're not, um, or definitely the like medical model, physical model. Now, next slide. So the social model is that yes, we understand that there is an impairment due to the body. There's a physical anomaly, right? Impairment. But the disability arises because of the samaj, because of society. right? Like we were saying before, and disability can be reduced through social acceptance, like we were talking about before, right? So essentially, it puts the onus on the society. Um, yeah, so this is a very basic example you've all probably heard before, but a wheelchair, for example, if the building doesn't have a wheelchair, like yes, the person has an impairment that they're in the wheelchair, but they, like it's but the lack of access to that building is what's disabling them, right? If that building had a wheelchair, they would be perfectly able to go in the building. So with stammering, it's the same thing. If we can, as a society, or I mean, not just stammering, but any type of, you can say difference, any type of, well, I wouldn't say any type. Of course, there can be like exceptions here and there, but I'll stick with stammering and some other things on the board. That if we can cultivate a society that accepts our differences, accepts stammering and stuff, we can prevent that second arrow, right? That arrow of reactivity, which for a lot of people who stammer, which we will kind of like, like at the end of the talk also, I'll open the floor as well to kind of get their experiences as well. And lots of us have struggled throughout our lives. Yes, thanks. Okay, so now social acceptance. Okay, how do we actually shift society to accept different ways of being? Big question. And right, be- being aware of that so many differences exist in society. Right, right. And when I'm saying social acceptance here, I like don't, don't just mean intellectually, like okay, we accept it, but um, I'm saying like embodied acceptance. So we feel like we actually accept the person fully and wholly. Um, all right. So I mean, it's quite. I think like we like talk but the talked about it as well. Like when we have a difference, we can hide it, right? We can try to change it, and if we cannot change it, then we can accept it or or show it. Exactly. So yeah. So it's one way to kind of accept our difference. It seems quite basic, but basically, for example, like I was saying before, throughout most of my schooling and university, I actually stopped raising my hand. I like didn't kind of participate in classes or anything. So for me to be up here talking to you actually is surprising in a way for me. But yeah. So yeah, so basically showing it. So what really helped me with stammering is finding the Indian Stammering Association and then showing my stammering. Now, the way to show, for example, with lots of differences, of course, talking about it, becoming more aware, and specifically with stammering because it's a embodied experience, right? Like when I'm stammering, I- I'm actually getting stuck like this. And there's a practice that we do in TISA and also and globally it's understood. It's called voluntary stammering. We're stammering on purpose, like I'm doing now. So in the process of stammering, I could, we could all do some voluntary stammering together, right? And I'm not going to pick on any one of you. I think you can all do it together. And this is basically a practice of embodied social acceptance, right? So if you all, it's like we could all at the same time, I'll count to three. On three, if you can do some stammering on your name. For example, for me, it would sound like Dhruv, just like that. Okay? Or if your name is Rahul or Vidya. Okay. So shall we do it? Okay. So on three, Very nice. Kind of extend that a little bit longer so you kind of like sit with that a little longer. So now we can go. And if possible, keep eye contact with me also. I can't look at all of you, but I'll look at least one of you. Okay, ready? So go. So ready? So on one. Amazing. Now like on our favorite color. Yeah, favorite. So think of your favorite color. Got it? Nice. Now the color of your shirt. Just pick a color if you have multiple colors. Amazing. How did that feel? Awkward. Okay. Yep, that's fair. Awkward. It was difficult. Yeah. Something is stuck. Like it's not
It takes so much energy also from
takes energy. Yeah. Yeah. We should write these down too. But anyway, like you can keep it so difficult, awkward, takes energy. It felt unusual. Something unusual is happening. Yeah. Sorry? 10 minutes to kind of wrap up the talk, right? Oh yeah, sure, of course, of course. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Almost done. Um, yeah, all those things. Now imagine doing that when you're trying to you're at the ticket counter at the local train, the line behind you, and you're trying to say your station name, Prat Kopar, and it's happening to you involuntarily. You're not choosing to like you were now voluntarily stammering. I was counting, and you basically, in some ways, like it wasn't involuntary because I was counting for you. But imagine that you cannot. So somebody else somewhere is counting for you, and you have no idea when you're going to stop the block. Yeah, that's what stammering feels like. It's awkward. It's difficult. It was using a lot of energy. Yeah, and and that's the difference between intellectually understanding that okay, there's something called stammering or being aware, and embodying acceptance. So my challenge for you guys, if you choose to accept, like Mission Impossible, the next thing you order, if it's at a like in person, like if it's at the like canteen or some stall or a ticket or whatever, try to do some voluntary stammering for at least 5 seconds and see how you feel. It's not, yeah, I mean, I don't want to scare anybody, but that's the experience of people who stammer every day. And we'll kind of like hear some more when I open it up. Uh, we're involuntarily stammering. But again, now talking about cool, next slide. This is almost the last slide, basically. So going back home to where you guys are home, IIT, and perhaps corporates or workplace later on. 230 students here at IIT Stammer. For me, like I said, going to university, job interviews, and work was difficult, especially when I was trying to hide my stammering. Right now, what can we do? What can we do practically? What practical things? Of course, if you stammer, if you're in the audience who stammers, join TISA, tag me, Sunil, Harsh, uh, and you can join us, and then we can practice acceptance, embodied acceptance together. If you don't stammer, then like I was kind of sharing, like you can like talk you through sort of like acceptance practices, like we just did, like embody the voluntary stammering. Um, and one quote that I think so. My shirt says "Keep calm and stammer freely," and I think on the back of my shirt it says "Kalam magar pyar se." So one more quote I think is nice could be stammerers are teaching the world to listen. The only thing you have to do for somebody who stammers is just listen. The word is going to come out. It just might take a few seconds longer. What are the benefits? If you are a professor at IIT someday, if you are the project manager, you have somebody who stammers on your team, what are the benefits for you for waiting for that student or that colleague to finish stammering, finish speaking? Of course, there's an inherent human benefit that you're actually connecting with the person again now, right? And when people feel comfortable to be themselves, they can be their true selves. And to talk with MBA jargon, they can perform better, they can be more efficient, and they can kind of share ideas that perhaps they were withholding or hiding. And I had gone to a diversity, equity, inclusion conference, DEI it's called. So in corporations nowadays, they have a DEI committee, right? So at this conference, so someone had shared that because of their hiring practices, like it's a multinational in Mexico or something, because of their hiring practices to hire local indigenous Mexican people, someone from that group shared an idea that then led to $1 million brand kind of thing. Does that make sense? So basically, yeah. So they kind of expanded their hiring practices to be more diverse and more inclusive. They found someone with an idea that then led to more profit. So anyway, keeping all that aside, there's also a human element. And yeah, basically kind of come back to our differences. Yes, I think we all can see now that we all feel different at some time or another. And that's actually perfectly normal. Sabka apna apna normal. So keep that in mind as you go on. And when you meet someone else who's different in whatever way, all you have to do is accept. And you'd be like, you know what? Your hobby is this. My hobby is this. Let me kind of try your hobby as well. And in some ways, then embody the acceptance. Yeah. So before we open it up for questions, like in some ways, this is questions as well and sharing from the audience. I just thought I'd kind of invite people. Can we share the next slide? I'll kind of invite people. Yeah, we can leave that there if we want. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll kind of invite people who stammer in the room in person to maybe, or on Zoom if they want, to kind of maybe like, yeah, add anything if they want or share anything. And this as well is like our audience interaction time. Thank you so much for yeah for having this talk and kind of inviting us here. I think it's been fun for me and yeah. Anyway, I can yeah. Huh. Yeah. So okay.
Hello, I am I can come. Hello, so I am Utsav Jha and I stammer since birth. It is a genetic, you can call it disability passed on from my parents' time. So when I was in school, so my teachers they did not have a lot of understanding about this stammering. They thought that I had lack of confidence or some or um, maybe I've not practiced enough. That's why. So there has been one event where I stammered in one Sanskrit slok, and my teacher shouted at me that, "Why are you stammering? What is this? What are you doing?" Uh, but uh, when I got in class 9 or 10, I thought that it is will. In my earlier years, in class 3, 4, 5, my parents they took me to several speech therapists, same as you. And what happened was that they taught me about several exercises like breathe like this, or speak slowly, follow this 30-second uh, drill every day for 10 minutes, or maybe sing while you stammer. So these kind of drills they told me, most of them didn't work, and didn't even so what happened was that with time I came to some online forums on, like, I have a very hard time speaking the word r. I cannot speak the word r. It is like I want to speak the word Reddit. I cannot speak the word Reddit. Like I just spoke it, but in most times I cannot speak the word. So like if I have to take an auto, so what's the closest place here? No, Kiranandani. So it has the word R inside here, right? So I have to think that what can I say the auto wala that I have to. So I say the auto wala take me to Valeria. I don't say the word here. I so I have to say something else. I cannot say words starting with R or have R in between. So I need to choose words that speak in such a way that the that my pain alphabets don't come in my sentence, right? But when I was in class 9, 10, I thought that no, it is over. I will not let this disability back off me. So when I was in coaching class 11, 12, even in IIT in my first, second, third year, I didn't care who was in the classroom, who, if people are laughing or not. And I am surprised that people actually accept stammering more than I thought they would accept. Even in railway stations, even the auto wallahs, they don't really get that much angry when I stammer. I have observed that. Right. So that's my experience. I am currently a BTech fourth year student here in chemical engineering. And I think that if I look at my IT life, stammering personally has not been a very big concern, because I have accepted stammering that it will not, I cannot cure it, but I can live with it. And I have no hope that it will be cured. Means I have learned that I will live with this for 80 years, 90 years, whatever age I will live to. I have in no hope that it will be cured one day, or I can go to some random speech therapist and get this thing cured. So that's my journey so far. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Any of you guys? Yeah. And so actually, that's a good question. Like, if you had a pill, or like, I'll answer the question for myself. If I had a pill today to cure stammering, and tomorrow morning I'm not going to stammer, would I take it? I was actually thinking, if thinking about this question today, because I thought somebody might ask this question, like some IIT scientist is going to discover something. I actually today in my life I would not take it, because for me I've met so many amazing people because of stammering. I have traveled the world, gone to all these conferences because of stammering, and I think more importantly, like I was saying in my talk, stammering has been a portal for me to really understand myself and to actually to face my fears and stuff, like I was saying. So yeah, yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Sunil, and I'm honored right now to speak in front of such a huge crowd, because I all my life I didn't have any such experience of speaking in front of people, because of obvious reason that I'm stammer. That's why, because I'm here. And Dhruv have already mentioned so many things. So what can I add more to that? I'm thinking about that. Um my name is Sunil. I'm 29 years old, and uh, I am a civil engineer by profession. I completed my BE in the year 2017, and since then I'm working as a site engineer at the construction project. I'm a site in charge. It means that I almost handle about 50 to 50 laborers in a day. It's a quite verbally taxing job, and with a stammer, it's even more verbally taxing. It's exhausting also because you have to deal with people who are not that empathetic, who are less patient, and in spite of that, you have to navigate your communication. And um, I across Insta and I met Dhruv 6 years ago. In a very long period, um, I was in a long denial with stammering. Like I thought that just one fine day and everything would be good. I was looking for that, but unfortunately, that didn't come. So, then there is so much more standing. That very much makes and running community. And uh, uh, okay, so that I'm thinking too much. Like what can what more can I add to my speech? But I am not that prepared. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for listening to us and this very wonderful job explaining things. So kudos to Dhruv and thank you all for listening.
Got it? I- And also, as well, I see on Zoom that the Dhruv raised hand. But anyway, let the our kind of our Harsh will go first, and then we can get the person on Zoom.
Okay, I am going to continue in Hindi language. Is it okay for you all? ओके मुझे जब मुझे पता चला जब मैं 5 या 6 ईयर का था कि मुझे स्टैमरिंग है तो उतना आसान नहीं था कि क्योंकि एज अ चाइल्ड मुझे बहुत मन था कि मैं पार्टिसिपेट करूँ डिबेट्स में एलोकेशन बिकॉज आई आई लाइक लॉजिकल थिंग्स डिबेट फिर देन स्टेज पे जाने के बाद मैं कुछ बोल नहीं पा रहा हूँ फिर किसी इवेंट में अगर मुझे पार्टिसिपेट करना रहा तो मैं जाता हूँ टीचर से पूछता हूँ तो उनका भी रिएक्शन अच्छा नहीं होता तो उस टाइम पे माइंड ऐसा होता है कि मैं कुछ पार्टिसिपेट नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ मैं क्या करूँ मैं लाइफ में कुछ होगा या नहीं होगा फिर मेरा टेंथ कंप्लीट हुआ कोविड के टाइम पर मुझे एनजाइटीज आना स्टार्ट स्टार्ट हुए कोई रास्ता नहीं पता था और इस चीज़ का भी नहीं पता था कि स्पीच थेरेपिस्ट जैसी भी कोई चीज़ होती है मतलब पेरेंट्स ने ट्राई किया पर उस टाइम पे स्पीच थेरेपिस्ट भी बहुत एक्सपेंसिव थी फिर मेरे को भी बहुत ज़्यादा टेंशन हो गया आगे के करियर को लेके कि आगे क्या करना है फिर देन आई फाउंड टीसा जहाँ पे मेरे जैसे लोग आते हैं हम इस स्टैमरिंग पे काम करते हैं कि हमें इस चीज़ से डील कैसे करना है और ऑल्सो इसी मंथ में हमारा नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस था तो वहाँ पे मुझे पता चला कि ये स्टैमरिंग होती क्यों है कि ये जेनेटिक है जैसे साइंटिस्ट इनोवेशन करते हैं तो एक दिन शायद सारे जेनेटिक्स का पार्लियामेंट बैठा था तो उन्होंने प्लान किया कि आजकल जेनेटिक्स में कोई नया वेरिएशन नहीं आ रहा है चलो कुछ नया करते हैं हम तो शायद किसी ने बोला रहेगा क्या तो किसी ने कहा रहेगा चलो ये इंसान बहुत आसानी से बात कर रहा है चलो इनको थोड़ा सा टॉपिक दिया जाए और शायद उसके बाद से ये चीज stammering हुआ start मतलब it, uh, it is a joke but it is a genetic. फिर मैंने देखा कि मेरे जैसे मतलब नॉट स्टैमरिंग, अलग अलग स्टीफन हॉकिंग्स भी थे, उनको भी फिजिकली बहुत प्रॉब्लम हुआ। बट जितने भी डिफरेंटली एबल्ड पर्सन है, उनकी जो डिसेबिलिटी है उन्हें उस पर तो काम करना चाहिए, पर मेन उनका फोकस होना चाहिए लाइफ को लेके, क्योंकि अगर हम इसी चीज में अटके रह गए तो आगे हम हमें बढ़ने में बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स हो सकती है। मैंने बहुत से लोगों के बारे में देखा, बहुत सारे फिलोसोफर्स को देखा, जैसे अष्टावक्र। वो एट वो 8 जगह से उनकी बॉडी शेप में नहीं थी, बहुत अलग तरीके के दिखते थे। अगर किसी को उनकी फोटो पता है, ही इज अ फिलोसोफर, मतलब सेंट। उन्हें भी फिजिकली प्रॉब्लम है, पर उन्होंने अपने नॉलेज पे फोकस किया, एंड उनकी नॉलेज ने मुझे बहुत हेल्प किया। बहुत सारे फिलोसॉफीज ने मुझे हेल्प किया। तो मतलब मेरा पॉइंट है कि अगर अ, हमें कोई भी डिसेबिलिटी है या फिर कोई अपना इंफीरियरिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स है, हमें उससे एक्सेप्ट करके लाइफ पे ध्यान देना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये लाइफ सिर्फ 70 ईयर्स की है। अगर हम अपने डिसेबिलिटी पे ही फोकस करते रह गए तो लाइफ जल्दी निकल जाती है। कि 20 साल स्कूल, हाँ 20 या 25 साल स्कूलिंग के, फिर जॉब। तो अगर किसी चीज में रह गए तो लाइफ पे कब ध्यान देंगे। तो मैंने अभी इसी चीज पे फोकस किया कि मुझे अपने स्टैमिनिंग पे भी काम करना है, और लाइफ पे भी ध्यान देना है कि इससे भी ऊपर कुछ है। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, Harsh. तो actually Zoom पे Neetu भी है. Uh, she was actually going to come today and basically like be like kind of like share a what woman who stammers perspective. So na Neetu, if you can hear me, and if you can talk, do you want to unmute and share your experience a little bit? Uh, Neetu, can you hear me? You're on mute if you're talking. Neetu. Okay, ठीक है. I think she's just I mean she like might kind of not be listening and traveling and stuff, so I think it's okay. Should we ask Dhruv who raised his hand? Okay, so yeah, the Dhruv, would you like to unmute and yeah and share or yeah.
Hey, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, sir. And I really loved your session a lot. And when I saw the poster Dhruv Gupta, so I was surprised. Same name. I also got excited about it. Uh, the first thing is like for me, this stammering was from my childhood initially. But after that, in my classes, first, second, third, fourth, something like that, I used to speak very fluently. Even my teachers used to call me for speaking stories and all in other senior classes. So that was my thing. But later, around ninth, 10th, maybe my tongue maybe started coming out or something like that while speaking. And because my friends started teasing me, saying that, so that got fit in my mind. And it actually increased slowly, slowly, and it became so worse for me that even when in classes, when our teacher used to call to read the chapters like one by one, so we used to stand and read from our table. Even to read one paragraph, I used to take so much time because of my stammering. That was very humiliating at that time, and it actually reduced my confidence a lot. I was one thing that made me little more feeling bad is that before I was able to speak, so what was lacking, and why I'm not able to speak now? Why I'm feeling that? And after I came to then similar cases like then I thought that maybe after some time it will go. I will leave it. Then I did JE. Then I joined IIT. I graduated this year only from IIT Bombay. So the in IIT, all my 4 years were good. I found many people who were accepting. Many times I have given presentations as well. So that in that also, I used to prepare many times so that I don't stammer. So and I used to try, as you said about hiding. So I used to try to not take something very big or something in which there are some blockage words, etc., like so and all. So those things were there, but and I also done some speech therapies, but always the practices and all with our normal life, it's very difficult to do something regularly, uh, properly. So was never able to do it, but and now I'm doing a job. So in job also, I don't. So here, I was just sharing my experience, but I also have a question that, as you said, that there are people like us who are different. But in our normal routine life, we'll find more people who are different than whom we consider as normal, but that is their normal. It's our normal like that. So in such cases, we feel that uh, s- uh, lack of characteristics that I can't speak like as you might have seen my comment. I can't joke like them because because if I start joking, then I may get stuck, and then I will become the point of jokes. So in all the situations, what should be your thought process? Like uh, that was my question. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, so thanks for sharing, and it's so great to know that like one more Dhruv who stammers. I think you're the first other Dhruv who I know who stammers. Question, I think like Kamala kind of would be the right person to answer that question because basically he's like if you heard he's like a site in charge of like a construction site. So basically he builds buildings. That's what he does for a living, and he kind of like has to talk to about 40 people, like you were saying, like who don't stammer, right? So basically he's the 1% there. Do you like want to kind of like share your thoughts on like or or should I just share for time's sake? Uh, yeah. So essentially, kind of like like how can we reframe our thoughts in situations where like we we are the 1%, right? So
The
in
mic will be good. Yes. Okay. Just
so in your workplace, for example,
okay.
say you're in a team, you're with 40 people or 10 people, whoever your team is, and you begin stammering. Uh, how can like what do you tell yourself? What thoughts go on in your mind to then maybe reframe that situation to kind of yeah to accept it in that situation.
Okay. So, the thing that I keep telling myself is that person with myself, even I'm stammering, the moment where I'm stammering, I need to be patient with myself and exactly what I wanted to say. Like, so I can talk about it, continue to evolve, talk about it. And people keep listening to you. So, we can see this week. Uh, about such things uh, in my life. Like, communication is what so, you can, I want to say that is a video. So, people think that it's trying to say something like so convinced and you are so uh, on what you're saying. I'm interested to listen to you and even if people can right to you, you must have learned to forgive them also. So
Yes.
that's what it's learned so far.
Great, thank you so much. Those I think are very valuable, like in person learnings. So like all the people who stammer.
Not probably this audio didn't carry very well.
Okay.
Can you do a synopsis? Is that what Dhruv is asking?
Oh man.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I was not
I
able
mean,
to hear. Yeah.
you could have interrupted and been like, no, I can't hear you. But
Yeah, I
anyway,
messaged.
so like what I was gonna say also is like take like for all the people who stammer who are on Zoom or listening or whatever, you can take my number down and send me a WhatsApp message. We have a WhatsApp group for TISA Mumbai. Almost every Sunday we meet. We have a SSG or self help group meeting normally in Ghatkopar. Yeah, so come to our meetings. We also have communication workshops. We like just had national conference. To summarize overall, I think he was saying be patient with yourself. Um, uh, know what you want to say. We stammers have a tendency to circumlocute or to add fillers or to beat around the bush or whatever because we're trying to hide our stammering. For example, changing words is a common thing that happens with stammers. They want to go to Ghatkopar, but they can't say it. So but then they'll say Vidya Vihar in the next station or something. So, um, and also forgive, right? If people are laughing at you, which maybe they will, it's okay. Sometimes it's funny when you stammer. And if we can actually laugh at ourselves, then we can, overcome our what's called a stammering mindset or the fear of stammering. Like all these differences, if we're actually okay with our weight, if we're okay with our body type, okay with our hobbies being different, or okay with all of these things, like we're saying acceptance, then people can laugh all they want. But if you have no reaction, they're going to stop laughing eventually. Like if the second arrow doesn't hit you, then you're fine. You're good, right? So okay, it's 6:43. At 7 o'clock, I think we're gonna close. So to kind of get some voices in the room. Should we kind of like take some in-person voices first and then go back to Zoom? Because there may be people in person who are burning to say something or
So as always, and you get from outside, I will only maybe quickly can ask one or two of them if they want to say. But otherwise, we open it up first to our our master students and then PhDs and then the seniors in the crowd. So just to ensure. Ready? Okay, great. So yeah, Shruti here.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we have mic that's going around.
Uh, so what I've noticed is um usually people sorry, yes. Hello, I'm Shruti Telly from first year MTech Sitara. And what I've noticed is people get awkward towards these disabilities because we have certain standards that kids are exposed to. Humans are, we expose them through visuals or uh, through what we see around. Do you think those standards are what is actually becoming problem for other people to accept who is not usual, like who's different from those standards?
Okay, take a couple of questions together.
I'll just take one by one because if you take a couple of questions, then like the I feel like the flow is broken. You asked the question now. We're all thinking about your question. I think that yeah. So actually, what you just described is actually why people coin the term social model of disability. That it's not that we are inherently disabled; it's society's expectations or standards that disable us. So absolutely, I think it's yeah. That.
Yeah, hello. I'm Gayatri. So I'm also in my first year at Masters from Sitara. So I also like have certain things that I feel. So did it knowing the reason why it's happening, like you said, right? Like you didn't know stammering is genetic. So knowing the reason why certain things are happening to you help you through the process out dealing with it.
Yeah, definitely. like I didn't know the word stammering until I was probably I'm not sure when I actually first learned that it's called stammering. Maybe like in university, and even then, I kind of gone to like my like u university like stammering like clinic or whatever to get help. I saw a group of people who were all stammering, and then I said like that's not what I do, and I walked away because I was so scared to confront it. So yeah, for sure. I think knowing what it is that you're doing and knowing that other people also are like you as well helps so much.
So what if you have something that you don't know why it's happening? How do you deal with it? If like you had a phase for a, like suppose you got to know at 10, but before that you didn't know why it was happening. So if you're in a stage where you don't know why it's happening, how do you deal with it? And you know for sure that this particular have hypertension, a specific idiopathic intracranial hypertension, and the reason for that is unknown, and it happens to different people for different reasons, and then it's very rare. Like if stammering is 1%, what I have is less than 1%, is that rare. So I don't know the reason why it's happening, so how do you deal with that?
It's difficult.
Yeah, it is difficult. So yeah, so okay.
But no, I mean, I think sharing about it is a step, like you were kind of saying, to increase awareness about it. And in some ways, like by talking about something, we are we can feel more normal about it, right? But no, for sure, I think yeah, like seeing if you can yeah, well, you've I mean maybe kind of have tried already to figure out root causes and stuff, and if you can't, then you can't. And then that's also like an acceptance practice to talk about it with friends, share that I've got this thing that I don't know. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So actually, like on my band here, it says if you stammer, you are not alone. It's also a tagline of some stammering organizations. So yeah, like lots of people who stammer go through their whole lives thinking they're the only ones who stammer. And it's scary. You're like, what's wrong with me? So
Hello. Hi. My name is Hari Prasad. I'm a PhD student at Sitara. I work uh, on the marginality and agency of sanitation workers, and I understand how the social marginalization and how the exclusion issues, including that of stammering and disability that you discussed, will overpower what is there already in the social marginalization. So I here trying to discuss or ask about the agency in the space that PISA is an agency where the people with stammering can speak for. So my question is more on the legality aspect of it. So we understand that when we discussed IIT has 23,000, in that 13,000 are students and 700 faculties and 2-3,000 staff and then families of the staff. So I somewhere feel I am ready to get corrected. When there is an interview, it's easy to exclude those who are stammering along with the disability. In the Disability Act, I read that there is a clarity issue and it is largely put under the speech and speech related issues. So as TISA, as an agency speaking for Stammering Association, being the lead person for that, how do you navigate that landscape where it is easy to exclude from the mainstream and the job market, as well as how is that any policy or discussions coming forward to put the people who are, like she said, 0.1%, 1% or 2%? How does that, the numbering calculation, but if you get 2% of issue also, you get your confidence will be affected and you can be easily excluded from the larger institutional framework. So how do you navigate this landscape being the head of TISA? That's my question.
not the head of TISA, like we have a core group and stuff, but yeah, like I'm one of the people. I think so. So to kind of summarize your question, you're kind of talking about employment, and like in some ways, that's an example, I think, of your broader question that you have a marginalized group like stammerers, and they kind of like do face discrimination in the job market, in interviews, promotions, all these things. So great question. So actually, in the British Stammering Association, so in the UK, they have this thing called Corporate Stammering Network. So basically, they've kind of like tied up with different corporations and basically and signed like an agreement with them, saying that so the companies are saying that we will not discriminate against stammering in hiring, in firing, in promotion, etc. So clearly, and also yeah. So well, and also then like what also happens then is they have access to more talent, right? Like we were saying before, like yeah. So basically, if you're excluding the 1%, you're excluding 1% of ideas, and then 1% of people could be the next whatever big idea for your company. So absolutely, yeah. So I think so having conversations like this, but more so in policy in the U.S., they have a thing called the Americans with Disabilities Act, and stammering is covered under that. And by the way, who knows the difference between stuttering and stammering? Is there any difference? Yes.
Stuttering is when you get nervous and then have problems with speech in general. And stammering is when it's biological.
Yeah, that's a really great answer. So actually, that in some ways was kind of a trick question, just to kind of like increase engagement and stuff. Like I think stammering and stuttering mean the exact same thing. In British English they say stammering. In American English they say stuttering. That's all it means. Uh, there is something called typical disfluency and atypical disfluency. So lots of people like stammer or stutter. Like like people people who don't stammer have typical disfluency. So once in a while they're going to repeat sounds, repeat words, add filler words, all that kind of stuff, right? Like think of a word and then gets stuck or whatever. But yeah, so stammering and stuttering are is called atypical disfluency. Just to share. Okay. Anyway, I kind of asked that question to increase engagement, not to put anyone on the spot. Yeah, so in the States, so stammering is included in the Disabilities Act. In India, it's not. So one thing we're kind of going to kind of try and do is to kind of have it included, and then legally, a company cannot at least officially say that we're stammering you. I'm sorry, we're firing you because of your stammering. Of course, they can still do it. It can still happen and say the different reasons. So it's yeah, but yeah, that's the kind of landscape legally. And yes, we like we'll we'll kind of fight to kind of have stammering be recognized as a disability as well. Of course, if we feel disabled by it is a different question. But legally, I think having the legal protection. Why not have that protection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, myself, Joan, I'm a PhD student here at Sitara. I wanted to ask you about the technological intervention with this. I see that altered auditory feedback, fluency enhancing devices, etc., are there. How effective these solutions are, and what do you propose in the sense that improvements in these technologies will help or not? And one more thing is, in PISA meets that happen every week. Uh, what exactly happens in this meet? Is it motivating each other, or is it to find the cause for each person and probably try to improve his or her speech? Is that some kind of an activity that happens in those weekly meets? Yeah.
Thank you for asking those very good questions. I'll answer the second question first because we're already in that flow. What do we do in TISA meetings, in our self-help group meetings? Our goals for those meetings are to create an accepting environment. You can come there and you're fully free to stammer. In fact, we encourage stammering there because throughout our whole lives, we've been hiding stammering. And yeah, and coming together and showing stammering in some ways, like we were saying, is like liberating. When you are not hiding, but you're showing or accepting your difference, it feels empowering and liberating. So yeah, so we kind of acceptance is a big part of it to encourage open stammering. And then apart from that, we do activities where we I'll share three acceptance-based practices we work on. One is voluntary stammering, right? The second one is disclosure. So basically sharing our difference. So basically we do role plays that if you're in an interview, how can you kind of disclose that you stammer in a confident way, in a polite way, whatever? Yeah, so disclosure is the second acceptance-based practice. And the third one is called avoidance reduction. So, for example, I think of the situations right now that you're hiding from, like you are not getting a ticket in person. You are scared to talk to this girl or boy to ask them out, or whatever it is, right? So you kind of like look at situations you're avoiding or the words you're avoiding, and then we kind of which we're the individual, and then we yeah, like see how then each person can work on that. Does that make sense? Yeah. But essentially, it's just a supportive and encouraging environment. We have lots of fun, and just, yeah. Your first question, delayed auditory feedback. So basically, there are some technological interventions because in capitalism, we have to try and fix everything for efficiency. Someone's talked about that. So we do technology that's tried to make a person fluent. Um, I've tried DOF, delayed auditory feedback. Um, what it basically is that while you're talking, there's an earpiece, and then it's playing back what you're saying. So you're kind of like you're hearing your voice a second time. Um, I so from my experience and other people have tried it, yes, it works for a short period of time until your brain gets used to that. Once it gets used to it, it could take a week to get used to it, it could take a month, could take 6 months. When you get used to it, you don't be stammering again. And because for that time period, you have tried so hard to be fluent, you've tried to hide your stammering so much more, your fear of stammering and shame when you stammer has increased so much. So when you kind of like begin stammering again, you're just like you hide like it's nobody's business. And you then stop talking and avoid speaking. So yeah, so long term, it's not a solution, and there's no long term cure that's been found for stammering, technological or otherwise. But what we have found is, again, acceptance, self acceptance, and social acceptance has been found to be a quote unquote cure. Because, for example, you can see me right now, you can see Harish and Sunil, other people on stage. I forgot your name, I'm sorry. What's Dhruv also talked on Zoom. Yes, we're stammering, right? You've heard me stammering so much, but do I feel disabled by stammering? No. I used to feel disabled by stammering. I wouldn't raise my hand in class. I was scared to go for an interview, talk to someone, but not anymore, even with stammering. So it's kind of our purpose at TISA. We're kind of like, accept yourself, download the plastic, and then move on. And live your life like Harsh was saying. Okay, sorry, 7 o'clock, Zoom.
Lady on the Zoom.
Yeah, Ankita, you can unmute. Ankita Agarwal.
Yeah, hi. So I'm Ankita. I want to ask question for my kid. She's 5.5 year old. She, uh, she started stammering since she started her school, and she is otherwise fluent, but she stammers when she is with new people or at new place. So after this session, I actually understood that we should accept this thing because there were many times when we asked her to speak properly, right? But what do you suggest? Should I? We were thinking of that. Should we go to the speech therapist because she is so young, or we should accept this thing? So what should be the your suggestion?
Yeah, it's a good question. Do you have any family members who stammer that you know, like extended family?
I don't remember. I
Okay.
mean,
ठीक है,
not,
ठीक है.
yeah,
Um,
not in
yeah,
your
so
family.
basically for kids, so basically 20% of kids will stammer, like while they're kind of learning to talk. Just naturally to kind of learn language is complicated or learn how to speak is complicated, so they will be stammering. 2%, 1% will keep stammering as an adult, right? So he's 5.5. It's possible that he will like it's because he's kind of learning to speak, and al- although it's kind of a bit late to then continue stammering, but it's possible that stammering is normal, like uh, childhood developmental stammering, which you don't have to worry about. It'll kind of go away on its own. Of course, if he continues to stammer after six and everything, then yeah, you can contact me as well. We can have a conversation. He can come to one of our meetings as well. We can document some research, but overall, just not make it a big deal. Like basically, like how you think about some social acceptance. So create an environment in the home of social acceptance. That no one is saying, no, don't stammer, yeah, speak properly or whatever. Just accept the way he's speaking, and if it's regular, like developmental stammering, it'll go on its own. If it's actually just stammering as an adult as well, then at least the stammering mindset won't form. The fear or just the shame of stammering won't form. And yes, he'll be stammering once in a while, but yeah, the second arrow won't hit him. Basically, yeah, just sort of embrace the stammering as his beautiful voice. So I'm sure he has a beautiful voice. And people have told me, by the way, that stammering is beautiful. Like the way it actually sounds can be very beautiful when you make eye contact and you smile as well. So yeah, we could embrace this as our gift. In fact, like I was saying, we're actually it's helping the world slow down in this world of hyper efficiency and consumerism. We're actually connecting with each other. Um, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean,